Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a Mike's Positive Technical World video review. Today we're going to be having a look at this. This is a thing called the Jawsaw. It's the Worx wg329e.9, and it's actually an extremely cool piece of kit. You can't really even see the whole thing, it's too big to actually fit in the frame. But it's a safety chainsaw. Chainsaw and safety don't ever go in the same sentence, because a chainsaw by its very nature is extremely dangerous. But this is Worx' very innovative design to make a chainsaw safe. They do that by making some very nasty, aggressive looking jaws here, and they're designed to grab hold of the wood and keep it nice and secure. And then as you push down this handle, that you can't even see in the shot because it's too damn tall, but as you push down the handle, you can see the chainsaw blade comes across, then cuts, and then it's sprung, so it springs back. How cool is that? It's just an amazing design right the way through and through. Inside here, you'll see this later when I show you how to re-tension the chain and how it operates, but very cool. So obviously the motor is direct drive behind here. I haven't got a battery in, so I'm safe doing this. Safer than not having a battery. You can still cut yourself on these teeth because they are extremely sharp. But yeah, the motor's direct behind here, and that turns the whole mechanism. Then as you push down, it operates a cam system that then pushes the blade across. Very cool. It comes complete with this wrench to open this door. It's a quarter turn to open this door. It's not a physical bolt, it is literally just operating this little sprung cam clip. And yeah, it's really quite cool. You can see there it dripping with oil because every time you push it down, it also activates the auto lubricant. I'll show you how to top that up later in the video as well. If you buy the version with the battery, then you get a simple 2 amp hour battery, and it goes in the top just here. Of course, that was out of frame for you guys, but yeah, it goes in the top. Just clips on like that. You've got one of the larger batteries, either 6 or 4 amp batteries. They follow the same suit. So yeah, there you go. So it will display just there, and as it uses it, as you pump the handle, it moves the bar, then also dispenses a small amount of oil onto the chain at the same time. Therefore, it automatically keeps it lubricated all the time. Genius design. It's a very typical Worx design, let's be honest. They couldn't possibly just have a normal auto oiler. They had to have something a little bit special. And also, they couldn't just produce a 8-inch chainsaw. They had to produce something which was a lot better than that, and a lot safer as well. This is so safe that, well, in theory, you could turn around and give it to a non-chainsaw user, and they'll be able to use it with ease, I think. Certainly, look at that action. It's just, I don't know, it's so simple and yet at the same time so safe. It almost might make you feel a little bit too safe when using it, but always bear in mind that is quintessentially one of these just inside a case. Okay, not quite as big as this, but at the end of the day, it's still a chainsaw and it still could bite you, so just be careful, guys. I think it's, like I said, a very worthy product to have in your lineup, especially if you've got like a wood stove or wood fire, and you just want to put a few logs on it, cut some up, put them into dry storage ready for seasoning. Yeah, I certainly would. It's a fantastic design, and it's a fantastic addition to your arsenal of work tools. It's also got a safety button at the top and at the bottom, or on the left and to the right, depending on how you want to look at it. So wg329e versus the 4x4 log. Obviously, you can see it's not already going to go straight away through it, but let's see what damage it can do to it. Nearly. Made a bit of a mess of it. wg329 versus 4-inch log. Very nice and controlled, I will say. Love it. And for a floor cut, and another one. Don't mind if I do. Okay guys, this is about a 5¼ inch log. It's about as wide as I can fit in the jaws. Anything wider it won't fit in the jaws, so let's see how it performs with this. There we have it, guys. Yeah. Let's go inside for a little bit of wrap up. You will need to fill up the Worx wg329 with oil. The oil is actually supplied, and I think it's actually a light machine oil. It's not your standard goopy chain oil. They do have this squeezy bottle here. I'd recommend that you squeeze and please. So just squeeze the bottle, insert it, and get it to draw up into the bottle, if it will. There you go. It does very slowly fill up. You don't need a humongous amount of oil either. Around about 70 ml, I think, is what it takes. So for me, that will do. Then all you do is remove this tiny little plug stopper. So that's one side. It is tethered, by the way. And then just carefully, not too fast, add your oil in here. Really just tip it slightly just to stop any air bubbles or airlocks forming. Then replace the cap. Replace the cap on your oil, so that way when you pick it up and turn around, it doesn't fly off and go everywhere. No, I've never been there, never done that. And then you'll see a small window on the side as your reservoir. You can see it's just under there. Tilt it back. It doesn't move because it's got an airlock in it. No, it does have a gauge basically on the side, and every time that you push it, the handle down, it does pump a small amount of oil. Jawsaw to access where the jaws are. It's a little bit more complicated than a normal chainsaw because, of course, it's got this fandangled claw piece down the bottom that stops you from getting to it, unless, of course, you undo all these, and these are riveted in place. So then start going, right, undo all these screws here, and no, you don't need to. There is a close angle, but there's a notch here. There's a key that's attached just here. You just simply place the key in there, push this down, and lock that in. Then if you go back up to the business end, you get enclosed a small spanner. It's like a 10mm spanner. This is a keyway, so all you got to do is just twist it across. This is not a undo it completely. Literally, you just push it in place, quarter turn, and it undoes. So when this comes off, or comes open rather like this, you'll then see the business end of things. So this is where obviously it drives, and then you take the same socket, wrench, end of the world you live in, undo this in anti-clockwise direction, and then it will release the chain. Obviously you completely undo it, then you completely release the whole chain and bar, and then you can simply slide it out the front and then replace as desired, or you can quite simply place it back on, then try not to get the door in the way of you guys. Feed it back through, loop over there, then take your bolt, just keep on screwing, I suppose. That's the best way to do it. You want to make sure you've got that golden 3 to 5 mil. That's a bit loose at the moment, so I'm just going to go and tighten it up a bit more. Give the chain a bit of a wiggle. Do it up nice and tight. So like I said, you've got this golden 3 to 5 mil chain tension. I think it's actually just slightly slack at the bottom there, so I'm just going to go for a little bit extra bump into it, dropping it. Just want to make sure it's really nice and tight, really. Okay, once you're happy with that, push that too, and that's it, job done. So to replace your chain bar and also make sure it's proper tension. So guys, there we have it, the Worx wg329e, also known as the Jawsaw. What do I think about it? I think it's a very unique product. It's also a very handy product. Having that little baby bar inside there, the chainsaw blade, inside this covering, not only does it limit how much you chew off, if you like, with the chainsaw, it also limits how much you can physically cut. It limits you to small, bite-sized pieces. You're never going to end up with too many issues when using one of these, just due to the fact being that this jaw prohibits you from doing anything too silly with it. If you see my my video on the wg325 and the 324, you'll know what I mean by silly. That said, obviously, at the end of the day, just remember it is a chainsaw inside here, so please do give it utmost respect that it deserves, and try not to, avoid the fact being that at the end of the day, it is still a chainsaw. It's still potentially a nasty piece of kit, and it can do an awful lot of damage. It's a very menacing looking piece of kit anyway, that should kind of give you an indication of what it's all about. I mean, seriously, it doesn't turn around and have rainbows and butterflies on it, really, does it? So yeah. In regards to that, like I said, I'm really pleased with it. Battery performance wise, I've done 40 cuts for this kind of logs from a fire, and it didn't really struggle at all. I dare say it does have a limiting factor somewhere along the line with regards to runtime and battery, but yeah, 2 amp hour battery. We're using hardwood, it did no problems. I suppose if you put too much force on it, it may chew through the batteries a little bit harder, but just using gentle, because you can use it gentle and just let the machine do the work. Gentle bit of pressure on the handle, it's all that's required. It'll push the blade through at the rate that it wants to do rather than what you want to do it. So yeah, really nice. I One little tiny downside I will say is the fact that it takes machine oil, which is like 3-in-1 oil rather than chainsaw oil. It's going to at some point bite you in the wallet, I suppose, unless you buy a large quantity of it. If it took standard chainsaw oil, it'd probably be a little bit better. I dare say you probably could use chainsaw oil, but only in the summertime. In the wintertime when it's colder, I probably wouldn't recommend it myself personally. But that's just me. Like I said, you can do whatever you want and try whatever you want in it, but don't blame me if it goes wrong because, like I said, I'd highly recommend you put in 3-in-1 oil, which is like machine oil, like it already comes with. Yeah, that's all I've really got to say, to be honest. I'll put a link in the description so where you can get one of these from. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Take it easy. Bye for now.